back, New Rockstars. I'm Jessica Clemons, and during D23, Marvel released their first looks at Daredevil Born Again, dropping in March 2025 with returning stars such as Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, Deborah Ann Wool, and Eldon Henson. This series will also include a couple of unforgettable Marvel Netflix baddies like John Barenthal's Punisher and Wilson Bethel's Poindexter. The footage shown wasn't immediately released online, but viewed by those who attended D23, and we'll go through every bit of trailer descriptions that I found, and maybe some of the footage I found on Twitter, to break down this trailer scene by scene and point out some details you probably missed. Be sure to check out nerdride.shop where you can find the latest and greatest in New Rockstars merch. Right now, we have this Agatha Blood Moon shirt, and we still got some great designs inspired by Deadpool and Wolverine, plus a new shirt featuring the man with a new mask, but still with the same task. Picking up some merch from nerdride.shop is the best way to support the channel and bring all this stuff that we're doing here to you. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Not me. All right, let's get into it. The footage shown at D23 really nailed how violent the series will be. Personally, the dark and gritty grounded vigilantism was what got me loving the Netflix Marvel show so much, and I was like, there's no way they're gonna let Kingpin smash someone's head in a car door again. But I was wrong. Vincent D'Onofrio says the show has moments more aggressive than the Netflix series, and he wasn't expecting for them to keep it in. So I'm anticipating so many slaughters. We open the trailer with a subway train, and you know we're back when you see the color grading and go, oh yeah, this is Daredevil. Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock steps into the shot. He's at a precinct. Then we glance at the New York skyline. This is the Brooklyn Bridge. In the prison, Matt is talking to a man. The two are separated by this thin protective glass as the man says, someone's gotta protect the streets. In this shot, we see the man battered and bruised, locked up, and the reflection of the glass shows Matt Murdock. The man incarcerated is Camar de los Reyes, who unfortunately passed away in 2023 battling cancer. The actor will be playing the White Tiger, also known as Hector Ayala. Daredevil's DPs and directors have always been great at putting their entire all and effort into every shot so it conveys something. Whether it's lighting, camera work, or sound mixing, the scene is so great at setting up this man behind bars, a vigilante like Daredevil, though Daredevil's not behind bars. And where's that justice? In the reflection, you can argue that he sees himself in Ayala. He too should be behind bars, and the two men share more in common than meets the eye. Then we get quick cuts, a man wielding and spinning a knife. This is most likely Bullseye from the darkened outfits and the gloves, then a man loading a pistol, and this could also be Bullseye out of costume preparing his arsenal. We see some art around the city. This art was better viewed at the TVA exhibit at D23 that led you to a small piece of Daredevil Born Again's exhibit. We can actually see Muse working on it in the trailer. It's flames rising up engulfing Kingpin. It looks like the artist is using the appropriation technique, which is when an artist uses pre-existing images or objects in their art to create new works. As you see in the original painting, I believe this was Kingpin, then ripped from the face down is another face that looks like the Muse perched within him, with a crown above his head. Under the left side of the painting, it says King, and the right side says Pin. Following the post-credit scene in Echo, we know Wilson Fisk is running for mayor of New York, and we're anticipating what that means not only to the vigilantes, but to all the free territories that might be up for grabs since Kingpin has found a new higher calling. As we view the art, Ayala says people are going missing, and then we see a taxi cab zoom by, which makes me believe these abductions or kidnapping of people are using the taxis again like the Russian mafia did in the original Daredevil series. He continues saying nobody seems to care, and then we get a shot of Daredevil being held at shotgun point by a man in a red mask. Later in the trailer, we see another man in a yellow mask in the same location. Then we get flashes of Ayala putting on the White Tiger outfit and pendant. White Tiger is a superhero from Marvel Comics, making their first appearance as far back as 1976's Spectacular Spider-Man, and recently appearing in Marvel Voices Comunidades in 2021. White Tiger has different first appearances across Marvel Comics because the mantle of White Tiger has been shared 4 times in the comics by different people, including some family members for the first Hector Ayala White Tiger. Each possesses similar abilities, strength, speed, stamina, and dexterity, while they are all in possession of the White Tiger mystical amulet, which we get a look at in the footage. The amulet in the comics originated from Kunlun, the mystical city in Iron Fist, where he trained and took the title Iron Fist from. Ayala continues that the mask is more than just putting on a suit, it's a calling. Then like clockwork, we get a quick sequence of cuts. We get Matt walking down a darkened staircase, to him using his enhanced hearing to make out his surroundings. This cuts to a flock of birds flying away, and though we can't hear it, you know a loud noise nearby set those pigeons off. We see a man behind bars, and like the painting, we can't make out his eyes or identifying features. I think this is the Muse out of costume who looks equally terrifying in the comics. Then we see more art. The camera pulls in on it. It looks like a dark studio, and the painting is a 3-point crown similar to Jean-Michel Basquiat's works. The face is wailing and the eyes are dark. This is a self-portrait of the Muse. Basquiat's crown often represented the struggle for power and recognition, especially in marginalized communities, which corresponds to the earlier work I noticed where the Muse made with him labeled as king emerging behind Kingpin with a crown. This isn't a surprising allegory for someone like the Muse, who works as a deranged artist who uses his artistic expression heavily during Fisk's political run in the comics. We'll talk more about the Muse when we see him a little later in the trailer, but from this trailer I can confidently say that the character will be showcasing he's one of the many considered like lower class in New York, or the opposite of the elites. His art is to emphasize on his political and social messages. He does it in a very Banksy way that later is borderline psychotic. We push it on the painting in the trailer, and a single drop of red paint or blood stains the floor. Muse has made murals from blood of missing people and used corpses to make sculptures in the comics, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually human blood. It also reminds us that the original Daredevil intro and how far one drop of blood can go, how one life can quickly increase to dozens in this city. Ayala finishes saying, "I don't think you understand, people need a hero." Matt responds with a subtle, He's definitely not surprised, but not the first time he's thought about this. We then cut to the Marvel logo. This must be the look for the Marvel television logo. Marvel now has studios, television, spotlight, and animation. And yes, some of those may be able to intersect in the future, and if you're confused about the entirety of this new umbrella in Marvel, I suggest watching our sneak peek episode when we talk about it. It's also really hard to catch some of the things in the Marvel television logo, but it does have a little purple accent and trees reminiscent of Agatha all along, which we also know will be on Marvel television. We come back with Matt saying New York's been what it's always been. Then we see a cleaner version of New York City, followed by quick ambulances and traffic B-roll reminding us it isn't calm, but still very troubled and dangerous. Matt continues, it's always been blood for blood, which, yeah, of course, he should know that's how revenge works. He spent 3 seasons chasing it. Then we see Ayala fighting in the subway station. It's 3 versus 1, and he tosses someone directly in front of a train. Is that worse than getting your head smashed in by the car? I don't know. That might be worse. Then we get a great look at Deborah Ann Wool's Karen Page and Eldon Henson's Foggy Nelson, Matt's best friends and co-owners of Nelson, Murdock, and Page law firm. He continues, the entire system's against you. Then we see the man behind the bars, while Matt confidently walks with who I think is Kingpin, avoiding the paparazzi. He says no further comment of the state. In Charles Soule's Mayor Fisk comic book storyline, Kingpin doesn't know Matt is Daredevil yet, but he works as the deputy mayor. The trailer has already showcased that there could be a minor team up. I don't even think team up is the right word for this. Maybe a business endeavor between Fisk and Matt, and I'd guess that Matt is his attorney for a slight moment in the series. According to the US Copyright Office, the first episode's description details longtime rivals Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk try to leave behind their darker alter egos to serve the people of New York, only to have their past catch up to them. So the two are trying to move on, but it's impossible for them to do it, so it seems like they're gonna be working together at one point. Then out of nowhere, we see Mohan Kapoor's Yusuf, Kamala Khan's father, and I don't know why we're seeing him over Kamala. They might be keeping under wraps, but it's not surprising when it comes to New York City vigilantes. We should get a cameo from either her or Kate Bishop or even Doctor Strange or Wong. There's a lot going on in New York City, and if Daredevil doesn't run into one of our more established MCU characters, that would be surprising. Yusuf looks like he's being held at gunpoint, and in the comic book, Fisk was running an anti-vigilante agenda as mayor, and I'm guessing to find Kamala, people are going after her father. Then he finishes by saying the entire system's against you, it's often David versus Goliath. This saying focuses on the fact a giant, or like a stronger competitor versus a smaller or weaker one. The moral though to David and Goliath was a lesson of bravery, and you must stand up against those who mock or criticize. The underdog will always prosper, you just gotta keep fighting, Matt. That's when we get a very stoic Kingpin at the top of the roof like Goliath looking down at the lights, a figure of great importance. Then we get an excellent heated meeting between John Barenthal's Frank Castles and Matt Murdock in a boxing gym, and our man looks rustic, very beardy, and I like that he looks like himself in the comics in the later ones. We knew Punisher was going to make an appearance in Daredevil Born Again from released set photos a while back, but I love Frank Castle and Karen Page so much, so I'm so excited to see the two interact again. Last we saw Frank and Daredevil was mainly during season 2 of the Netflix series. They originally fought a lot while Matt was protecting Grotto, who was being tracked by Frank. Matt later covered for him as his attorney in court for the crimes of killing almost all the gang members in New York City. Once arrested and sent to jail, Kingpin helped him escape, though Frank did vow if he saw Kingpin again, he'd kill him. Frank and Fisk have a history in the comics as well, but in the 2018 The Punisher covers Frank returning to New York, labeled an international terrorist, and Fisk is already mayor sending the Thunderbolts after him, so their history has always been that of enemies. Is it any surprise that we've gone all in on Deadpool and Wolverine over here? Our obsession runs super deep, which is why we're so excited when Casetify sent us this box of stuff from their new Deadpool and Wolverine collection. Look at it! Look at how pretty it is! The packaging is so fun. Oh, I already ripped it open. I'm too excited. Ooh, Casetify card. Oh my gosh, this is a bundle and a half. Ooh, it comes with this little card holder. It's a little Deadpool. Oh, this is for me so I don't lose my phone at conventions anymore. It comes with it on a little lanyard. Oh my gosh, look at that little case. He's laying down. He's laying down like I lay down. Ooh. Oh my gosh, you'll never lose your case. You will never lose your case. Oh my God, this is like having one of those little like bracelets. Now you can be cooler with a cell phone little keychain. These are the kind of keychains I put on mine. Look at those little jewels. This case is so pretty. I'm obsessed with this. And you can detach it if you really want to, but why would you do that? Oh my God, they have a Wolverine one. Look at them, you can have best friends. You can force your friend to be best friends. And the Wolverine one pops out. Oh great. And now I can be just very loud in a movie theater. I love this. This is so cute. And it comes with a poster. This poster is an official collaboration between Marvel and Casetify just for early purchasers. And it looks like a little comic book. I'm obsessed. Put this up in my car. I'm gonna try this on my phone. Oh my God, I'm gonna be so cool. This is gonna be so sick. God dang. Look at this. It fits perfectly on my iPhone. It's perfect. It looks great. I'm so in love with it. If you need more Deadpool in your life or more Wolverine in your pocket, Casetify has you covered. Head over to casetify.com today and check out their Deadpool and Wolverine collection. Like Daredevil so far in this trailer, it looks like Frank is also stewing in that same, I'm not gonna be a hero anymore, I'm not the Punisher anymore sadness. Though from set photos, we know he's gonna jump back into the fray again. Matt requests he put the hatchet down, and how does my man know he's wielding a hatchet? It's because Matt Murdock is that damn good. Then we see my man Benjamin Poindexter, played by Wilson Bethel. Bullseye is one of my favorite villains because he's truly just insane. In the Daredevil series and in the comics, Bullseye was a former FBI special agent who, like his moniker, can hit any target. He's an exceptional marksman, but also great with hand-to-hand combat. We're seeing him in jail being escorted, and from the view of his cuffs, he's highly dangerous. The actor and character are returning from season 3 of Netflix's Daredevil, and we don't know if the events of season 3 and his upgraded surgery directly links to this scene here. It's unclear when exactly this moment could take place. We don't know to what degree this show is connected to the Netflix Marvel Defender series. We have returning faces, and the Defender saga is officially at Disney, but Brad Winderbaum did mention in the Marvel official podcast, it's similar in some ways to X-Men 97, because it's reviving something that the fans love, but it is taking it in a new direction. These characters have matured. The universe is different than it was. Things have changed. Society's changed. Charlie Cox also mentioned in an interview, they're treading a careful line using the hits that worked in the Netflix show, but also inviting a new audience so they don't have to remember everything that happened to the old characters. We don't know what they're cherry picking from the Netflix series. Personally, I think this all just means it's been years since we've seen these characters. There's been a blip and major world events which probably affected these characters differently, and we'll see the impact play out in the series for everyone. However, we know that Dex is in prison at some point because of the scene. Then we get Sad and Matt walking through a crowd cheering with American flags. This could be in response to Kingpin becoming mayor or actively running. This could also be the moment he poses an anti-vigilante stance, to which Matt's fed up with, but the crowd goes wild for. Then footage of Kingpin laying it into a man with long hair as he's one to do, and then oh baby, my favorite part. We get the helmets. Our man has 5 suits at least. Some of these suits we've seen in the series, but I believe some are just staples from comics that maybe during the snap made an appearance, since Daredevil didn't snap. He was fighting folks like Echo during it. The Hand of God, Daredevil from 2023's Chip Zdarsky and Mark Cichito run. This is when Daredevil dies and goes to fight the devil in hell, and he becomes the Hand of God. The helmet looks silver in the leaks, but I think representing the Hand of God would have been a great arc for Daredevil at one point during the snap, because we never really focused on people with faith during the snap. Just an interesting juxtaposition that I'd like to see. The dark red cowl looks just like the original one we saw through Netflix's Daredevil. It's super smooth. This is also the one he wore when he was fighting Echo during the blip. The yellow helmet is the She-Hulk helmet created by Luke Jacobson's, which means this takes place after She-Hulk, which takes place between 2024 and 2025. The dark black is reminiscent of his all-black costume from the Shadowland storyline back in 2010. This is when Daredevil is possessed by the Beast. Then we see his new red helmet that he'll be wearing in the series. This helmet has so much more texture than the others. It has like indents, like it's better for grasping. I don't know why that film's there, but I do like it. We see a better look of it in the trailer a little bit later here. Each suit is equipped with red eyes like his glasses, and I hope we get flashbacks of different moments during the blip of him wearing each garment. Then we're at a diner with Fisk and Matt, where Fisk says sometimes peace needs to be broken. This is followed by scenes with Matt and his new girl, played by Margarita Laviva. Sources say she'll be playing a character named Heather Glenn, who was featured in Daredevil comics in the 70s and 80s and was another one of his many love interests. Fisk goes on to say chaos must reign, and then we see a shadowed figure that resembles Bullseye from set photos. Bullseye is also the embodiment of chaos, so it's fitting with the narration. Then we get a great view of Muse. Also, damn, did they ever stick the landing with a comic appropriate outfit. It's so scary that it worked both ways. I mentioned Muse a little earlier. He's an artist that uses skills to commit crimes and keep the cops aloof. According to Charles Soule, who created the character with Ron Garney, he said he's a serial killer, misunderstood artist. From what I've seen, they stuck to the brief. Since they're sticking with the brief with the character, it seems like he'll be doing exactly exactly what we assume a deranged serial killing artist would do, using victims in the city to stir up crimes. Though it seems like both Fisk and Daredevil might have a mutual hatred for Muse that'll be explored in the series. Muse makes Fisk look like a punk, and Daredevil wants a serial killer off the streets. We jump to a cut of Ayala's return as Vanessa sitting down to a small glass of champagne or wine with white-suited Fisk. When he's speaking with Matt, he's wearing a nice suit and tie with a US flag pin, though with Vanessa, he's back to his white suits. It was implied he was wearing those white suits to symbolize that he's a good guy, especially during season 3, and I can still see that playing out here because with Vanessa, he always wants to look like a good guy. Matt counters in the narration, it seems like we really do understand each other, so if you step out of line, I'm going to be there. To which Fisk questions, this caution that you're giving me, who is it from? Matt Murdock or your darker half? See, they're working together for now. Then we get Daredevil in the yellow mist fighting the Muse underground. It's like a sewer where he does his work. He uses multi-purpose clubs, showcasing his great hand-to-hand combat, and it looks like the Muse doesn't have any hand-to-hand combat skills. This fight is parallel with Matt Murdock also fighting out of costume. The sequence is highlighting the two are one and the same and both are back, baby. How manic will Matt Murdock be? We don't know, but the fighting done here both look urgent and a little careless, like he's beating someone up out of revenge and anger rather than information or out of self-defense. This, along with the array of helmets that have their own symbolism, I personally feel demonstrates how Matt won't end on a high point by the end of season 1, and that's okay. They're already cooking for season 2, where he can succeed there. The trailer ends with Yusuf, and it reveals the fight scene we just witnessed is in his presence. He asks, "What kind of lawyer are you?" To which Matt responds, "A really good one. Just like No Way Home, baby." We also see Matt pick up his broken glasses, which I feel like has been done before. I do vaguely kind of remember it being the season 2 promo art. The part I was very confident in is the fact that the glasses don't look like the ones from She-Hulk, and they aren't. A fine person online shared the different glasses Daredevil wears, and though She-Hulk and the Defender Saga glasses were also red, they're very much a different brand. We cut to black, and from the bottom up, we see the logo of Daredevil Born Again. Sort of looks like the Batman, but I don't care. The red font is outlined and at the bottom by the New York City skyline. Just like the original intro, it reminds me of blood falling onto the city. But with Daredevil's font being red and the city being black, I think it's meant to convey that Daredevil won't be the hero the city needs, but maybe its demise. And this will be propaganda spread by Mayor Fisk. There's so much explored in the trailer with all the new cast and returning cast and figuring out what's been of New York for Daredevil since the blip. Is there so much crime due to the loss of people? Are they angry at the politicians following Falcon and the Winter Soldier? I can't wait to see how closely tied this will be to the MCU's current political scheming with Harrison Ford entering the White House. What other MCU characters could be connected to this series if it includes a ton of gangs? There's been other new developments that we didn't see in the trailer and that weren't really offered at D23 as much. There was a concept art though shown at D23 during Marvel Studios visual developments panel that also detailed the helmets, the new Daredevil suit, Daredevil swinging through New York City, I assume like Spider-Man, or at least hanging with Spider-Man, and Fisk in a white suit meeting Matt in his office according to Daredevil updates on Twitter. Born Again will also be composed by the Newton brothers who worked on Dr. Sleep, The Haunting of Hill House, and X-Men 97, so they're very good at composing very tense scenes. Comment down below your thoughts on Daredevil Born Again. Are you excited for it? Which character do you want to see? Who do you want to see die? Follow me at Lulu_Clemons, subscribe to all 3 channels in the new Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.